Hi, this is Mojos Ke, and today I wanted to go live, but the place I'm staying at has there are so many kids, so there's so much noise around here. Yeah, I woke up late. Apologies, but there's a lot to talk about. There's a lot going on. If you're keen enough and you've been watching what's really happening all around the world, we had and saw what was happening or was still happening is still happening in Tanzania. Uh, People are unalived by the government, yes, by the current government of Samia Suluhu Hassan, who's the president. That's just a true example of when power gets to someone's head. Yes, when people get drunk with power. We've seen videos and clips coming out of Brazil, and reportedly, or as the videos show us, more than 60 people were unalived also by the police, who claimed were part of a larger gang that opened fire or resisted arrests, and therefore it turned out to be a shootout between them and the forces. We go back to Uganda, which is in East Africa. Museveni over the weekend hosted EU members, yes, the European Union members, or delegates. It turned out to be one of the funniest, yes, one of the funniest meetings I've ever watched, because the old man scolded them like they were doing their nothing. Like, he kept on reminding them that Uganda or Africa is not their business and they should focus on their own countries and focus on what's happening in their own home countries. Reminding them that, have you ever heard of Uganda uh, planning to invade or come to your country to solve your issues? No. Why are you planning, or why do you think it's right for you to come and try to solve our issues, which are way internal and personal to us? Things that only we know how to work around them. Leave alone that. After Samia Suluhu Hassan, no, before we go back to Tanzania, we've seen what's really going on in Sudan. Yes, the RSF confirmed to have taken charge of the El Fasher region, which is a key area when it comes to, I think, when it comes to Sudan in general. Because listen, Sudan has been in was invaded, I think, 18 months. It's been close to 2 years. It's been 2 years since the war broke out in Sudan. So many people have been killed. So many people have been unalived. Yes. And most of them on camera. Yes. Women have been, you know what I mean? Kids. You know what I mean? The African Union, which is a very incompetent body to ever have been made, I think the African Union should be done away with and something new made, because in the past few years, we've not seen the impact. We've not seen its meaningfulness. Like, we saw what happened in Kenya. Yes, we saw what happened in Kenya with the Gen Z protests last year, 2024, and also this year, 2025. So many young kids were unalived by the current presidency and the administration. But They never talked about it. They never took action. They never summoned the administration of the day to question them about the events that took place. We've seen what just happened in Tanzania, and it's still happening because videos are still coming out. They are going house by house to pick up young men who were involved in the protests, and they are doing that thing to them. Yes, they are unaliving them and dumping them wherever they are dumping them. We've not had the African Union try or just summon the president, who is Samia Suluhu Hassan, to ask, hello, what's happening in your country? Why is all this happening? Why are all these deaths happening in your country? Is there law and order? Or why don't you use the system as it's required by the Constitution and not do things as you wish? Because there are claims that her and her son are the ones involved in all that's happening over there. But we've not had the African Union do anything about it. Now, back to Sudan. 2 years of people suffering, 2 years of people being displaced, 2 years of people facing hunger, famine, and all that. But the African Union is just there doing nothing, and they pride so much to be called African. Like, what's the use? What's the importance of all these bodies that we think, or people think, or Africans put so much faith in, that whenever we fail, we have such like calamities, they can chip in or come through and support, or just put things in order, or call some leaders who are basically politicians. We rarely have leaders in Africa, and call these politicians to order when they miss the road, when they miss the track, when they are misbehaving. The African Union is always there just quiet. Because why? Some of the big funders of the organization are the same. Yes, they are the same leaders or politicians who need to be called to order. So, you know what I mean? Yeah. Questioning your boss, it means you're losing your job or losing certain opportunities in their sovereign states. Yes. Next, we know what's been happening in Congo. The African Union has been quiet about it. So quiet about it. In Congo, the war has been going on all these years. Yes, no one doesn't know what's happening in Congo. Trust me, no one. No one. We have so many Congolese in Kenya, in Uganda, partly Rwanda because they are victimized in Rwanda. But the African Union has been quiet all along. We know what's happening over there. Trust me. We know why Kagame can't let go, why Museveni can't let go of our Congo. The resources, the gold, the lithium. There's so much. Man, Africa is rich. It's so rich, so rich, so rich. It's just our leaders. And this notion of people blaming the Western countries should be done away with. Our leaders are the problem because these people left. Listen, the whites left our borders, even if they are still infiltrating using other means, just like any other person will do in business. These people left, some left even 50 years ago, 50, 60 years ago. Why are we still not seeing change? We have the same resources, maybe more expanded borders, more technology, more developed road network. So why can't we reach and do these things our own, on our own, and still waiting on the Western world to come and chip in? And when they chip in and do something, and on the back end, They take some, you know, they take some resources back home, just like any other person will do. Because at the end of the day, it's business. It's always business. We start complaining. Oh, they are back. They're. Listen, you know what's happening in Nigeria? Yes. Today, I'm just highlighting everything that's happening. Nigeria was threatened recently by the American president, yes, Donald J. Trump. He said he will, or the American military will invade Nigeria, guns are blazing. You know why? There was a notion, or there is a notion that Muslim terrorists have been attacking Christian terrorists. Sorry, apologies, Christians, torturing and unaliving them. So he says the mission, the core mission of the American military is to flush out the Muslim terrorists. However you feel about this is up to you because everyone has their own opinion. And my own opinion or my own thought is this. Listen, Nigeria is one of the most blessed nations on this earth when it comes to natural resources and especially oil. You know, Trump recently wanted to invade Venezuela, if you can remember. He wanted to invade Venezuela, but then Russia, that is President Putin, sent over a cargo plane, a military cargo plane, with Russian mercenaries to counter any American invasion of the Venezuelan land. You know why? Venezuela is rich in oil. So after that collapsed, the plan collapsed. You know what happens next? He attacks Nigeria. Yes. He goes straight after Nigeria. Immediately, I think it was just this the next day. He posted, Nigeria, whatever. I was like, is he really coming to fight the terrorists? Or is he coming for the oil that he failed to get in Venezuela? So he will get it in Nigeria. Tell me why. Listen, we have ICE raiding and terrorizing people in America. Trust me. So many immigrants have been labeled criminals, have been labeled illegal immigrants. Even those that are there legally, some of them have been deported against the laws. I've never heard of Kenya or Nigeria or Venezuela planning to go to America and flash out ICE, saying it's a terrorist or whatever. We've never had Kenya or Nigeria or South Africa planning to go to America and saying, there's a certain group. Okay, Chicago has a high level of, crime, but we've never heard of a South African maybe group of military going to America to exercise on American land to flush out criminals in Chicago, as purported by the government, their government. I don't know what's happening in Chicago though. I just hear stories. Why would America threaten a sovereign state? Why? That was a very reckless statement by Donald J. Trump. A very reckless statement. And this is a gameplay that has been going on over the years by these powerful countries. So, at times, okay, you might want something from a certain nation, but the way you approach it, you can't use force anymore. That's what these people need to know. You can't use force anymore. You cannot. You cannot use force or tactics. Tactics, silly tactics can't win in this era. We know your plans. We know what you think. We know what you might think we are thinking. You understand? So we know the gameplay. Are we just waiting and watching and waiting? If this was like 50 years ago, are you? And I saw, listen, some people are just stupid, man. I saw some Nigerian celebrities celebrating that thank you, Trump, for sending the American military to our nation to whatever. Oh, are you really sure? Do you know the drill? Do you know what it means? Or you are just celebrating something you don't really understand the weight of it, what it really means? Because once it starts, listen, there have been claims and rumors all around this thing or this issue that the US might have been funding ISIS and Boko Haram. Yes, rumors. I'm saying rumors over these years. And all I can say is I don't know what's true, I don't know what's right, but there's always dots connecting. There's always dots connecting at the end of the day. If you're keen enough and following events, just like I said, after the Venezuela attack collapsed, he went straight for Nigeria. He went straight for Nigeria. Why? Why? So, Nigeria, let's put Nigeria aside first. We come back to Sudan and Kenya and Tanzania and Uganda. Tanzania has never experienced what happened recently. Trust me. So, the president and her administration underestimated the youth power. They underestimated the youth power. Trust me. Reason I'm saying that is at the start of the protests, or even before the protests started, there were posts saying, "We will protest." Or they were to protest on the 29th of last month. But we also, the government was just saying, there will not be protests. Don't try this or don't try this. And they were very okay, just minding their own business, going on with their normal business, not worrying that these youths might go all the way like the way they did. So after the one is when she realized, oh, this is serious. The people are really tired of me. The people are really tired of bad governance. This is a wake up call, a wake up call. And after they shut the internet down, is when I knew dictatorship is still around. Yes, dictatorship is still a thing in Africa. So you shut down the internet and then go on a slaughter ride, ending people's lives like they are cattle. At times when we say, don't give certain people power, you may hear, oh, you are misogynistic, you're this, you're the gender biased. No, no. Listen, it's proven facts. Use a few examples. Just use a few examples. Then you'll understand what we mean or what people mean when they tell you don't give power to certain people. Shutting down the internet was the worst thing ever. Imagine your world going dark. Yes, you don't know where your family is, you don't know where your friends are, you don't know how your business is going because they were on curfew. Yes, they put the curfew and then they shut down the internet and then they started hunting every each and every person that was involved in the protests, which is constitutionally right because they are accustomed to protest in the constitution. Yes, but funny thing is, after protesting, your peace, your safety is not guaranteed by the government. Trust me. You might go missing. They might get you lost. Lost. It's so sad to see all this happening. And neighboring countries like Kenya, Uganda, just watching. And at the end of the day, she gets sworn in and they can congratulate him. Ha. Yes, we saw Ruto, President Ruto and Museveni congratulate Samia Suluhu Hassan after she was sworn in a military barracks. In a military barracks, you know what I mean? Yes, it was bad. It was that bad. Normally, they get sworn, presidents get sworn in public places, maybe public stadium, a national stadium. She was sworn in a military base. That's an idea most probably given by Museveni or Ruto, if you know what I mean. We are cooked. Remember, Kenya is going to have a general election in 2027. It may get tough. Trust me, it may get tough. Those in power are now celebrating because Raila is not around anymore. We lost him. He succumbed to death due to uh, illness. And those that are competing with him are really celebrating. We've had them in rallies talking publicly, even the head of state. And it's really saddening because he was the only person that championed for democracy. He has fought for democracy for the longest time. All his life, all his political career, he has been fighting for democracy throughout these years. And he was known for that. A resilient heart. He served 7 years in jail back in the days when he was starting out, but never gave up. He came back and went strong up to the last minute. He succumbed, if you understand. Right now, Kenya does not have him anymore. The opposition that we have, they are trying, but filling the shoes or filling the space that Raila left is not easy or won't be easy. It can't be easy unless they have that kind of spirit, that kind of heart. It's not that easy. Trust me. All we are doing is just praying for God to do his wonders because those in power, we've heard rumors of them being involved with what's happening in Sudan. Maybe they might be doing arms trade, they might be doing the cleaning of gold and exporting the it and maybe providing money. There's a lot going on. Listen, there's a lot going on. Kenya, in Kilifi, there was a hill that was discovered recently to be having rare earths. Yes, rare earths, which is something very crucial when it comes to the military. And I'm just watching. the power play between China and America, because Chinese delegates were in Kenya, and we've had J.D. Vance, who's the vice president of America, is visiting Kenya very soon. What is he coming to do? Of course, it's just about that. Yeah, it has to be about that actually, because they are valued at the minerals are valued at the rare earths are valued at close to 62 billion US dollars. Yes, and might be more. So basically, there's a lot going on, and we might see a lot of developments in Kenya in the coming few years. Because of that, listen, these people will do anything. They will do anything. They can play dirty if needed to, just to get what they want. So I'm just waiting to see what they really want or what they will do to get what they want. You understand? But the era of America dominating the world, the era of America feeling like they can do anything anywhere, I think it's over, or it's coming to an end with the entry of other power players like China and Russia. We've seen Russia scare America like seriously when it comes to Ukraine and Venezuela, like real life scares. Trump had to hold attacks in Venezuela simply because he heard, oh, he saw uh, the Russian president take his military cargo plane to Venezuela with the Russian mercenaries to counter his own military. So, and even Trump himself, with they say during his recent 60 minutes interview, he admitted that the Russian president Vladimir Putin, and Xi Jinping, who's China's president, they are very strong leaders. In his own words, strong, bold, and very tactical presidents or leaders that can be handled with ease. You have to be keen on what you say or what you plan or what you do with them, because anything can cause, you understand, anything that can cause panic will be met with severe punishment or consequences. You understand? So all these power players in the world right now, they have to be keen, because China is coming up or has already come up and is doing all it can to amass the power, the connection, the like almost everything required of a major power player. North Korea has been testing nuclear weapons all along. We saw the Russian president. Listen, Russia did not test nuclear weapons. It tested a system that could deliver a nuclear weapon. You understand? So you all heard what Trump said. He thought, oh, he said like all these other countries like China and Russia have been testing nuclear weapons. So America is going to start testing its own after nearly 30 years. That's 3 decades. The panic has kicked in. Yes, the panic has kicked in, and we are all seeing it in work. It's really working. And this is what the likes of Putin and Xi Jinping want. They really want this. Trust me, they really want this. And it scares Trump. We don't know if he will get re-elected again in office, or this is his second term. He might get, listen, if he extends If he extends the term limits, then he can get re-elected. Yes. But if he doesn't, he won't get re-elected, and we will see the likes of J.D. Vance maybe come uh, into into play or into the site, but who are still maybe they are under Trump. Listen, when I look at the world right now, it's really cooked. We just don't see, or we are assuming things. Imagine what's happening in South Africa. They are losing a whole state to whites. Yes, and very soon they might need visas to visit a state in their own country because as of now they are not they need to have they required to have permits to work over there, so it's just a matter of time before they get chased out in a state in their own country. This is just how things work, man. And the same South Africans are the ones chasing fellow Africans, uh, saying they are taking their opportunities or their jobs. Of course, illegal. Listen, if you are in a country illegally, the constitutions of those countries might clearly stipulate that you get deported. You understand? You get deported. But there are certain immigrants who are legally in these countries. But South Africans don't want that. The Dudula movement bosses or whatever, the leaders, they don't want that. As long as you're not South African, they don't want you in their country. Say you are finishing their resources, you're finishing, you're taking their jobs that should be taken by South Africans or should be done by South Africans. It's a good thing. It's a good thing. But as I always say, I've talked about this a few times. As I always say, I'm Kenyan. I have Nigerian friends. I have Ugandan friends. I go over to Uganda and do production from over there. We have producers over there. We have video directors over there too. We have photographers over there too. I do the same thing, but everyone has their own touch, their own clientele base. So no one is coming to tell me that I'm taking their job. No, the client decides who they want to work with. At the end of the day, I'm paying tax. You understand? I'm paying tax because all these parks we go to shoot from, all these studios we go to pay, we pay. At the end of the day, they are paying for permits for the offices and the premises. We pay like for almost everything, the rental gear and whatsoever. We are still we are still promoting uh, the economy in one way or the other. And as a matter of fact, we promote the economy more than they themselves because you meet someone who's saying you're taking their jobs. They've been jobless for even 10 years. Yes. They which means they've not paid any tax. Yes, they have not remitted any tax. Maybe through these small things that are like small purchases, which are indirect. You paying taxes indirectly, but for us, we pay directly because from the import duty to whatever, from the tax stamps, from the border, whatever like the moment you touch down the border, you start paying tax until the day you'll come out of that country. And still someone would say you are taking their jobs. I really don't understand that. Anyway, it might be true, but at the end of the day, we are just developed. Africa is ours, and we shouldn't be thinking of, are you coming to our country to take our jobs, to take our opportunities? No, we have so many South Africans in Kenya. We have so many South Africans in Nigeria. The only country maybe people don't like going over there is Tunisia. We all know why. If you don't know, go do some research. I won't talk about that. Go just do some research about Tunisia and you'll find out why. But all these other countries, we go there, We visit, we do jobs over there, we come out. They come to our countries, they do whatever they do, they go back home. It's just like that. A one Africa is so powerful that even the West wouldn't like. Trust me. That's what Traore is fighting for. One Africa. But do these other presidents really want the same thing? They would rather be presidents of a broken nation or broken nations than be leaders of one African Union or United States of Africa, where things are done right and justly, where people are free to move within the borders and do business. There's a lot that has been concealed from the public. And a few leaders, listen, from history, you've heard of leaders who really wanted to have one Africa unified, and the Western world wasn't happy about it, and they had to end them. Yes, Nova Gaddafi, Nova, there are names, there are certain names I won't mention on this platform. So with Traore, these things are, oh, these plans are being actualized. Oh, he really wants this to work. But our African presidents, our African politicians, I won't call them leaders, most of our African politicians don't like this. They don't really like this idea. They don't really like this idea. And I don't know why, but you know why. You know why. You know why someone like Ruto won't like this, someone like Samia won't like this, someone like Museveni won't like this, someone like the South African president won't like this. You understand? Or like the Cameroonian president. Like, why would a 92-year-old still want to vie for presidency? And listen, he's the only president who's been in power in that country ever since they gained independence. It's just like okay, Museveni is the second or third, yeah. But them, they've only had one president ever since gaining independence, and they protested after the elections, but nothing happened. Life continued. He's still in power. That just goes all the way to show you what will happen in Kenya in 2017 and in 2022 and 2027. Yes, 2027. We used to saying 2027 until we forgot the 2027. Yeah. So Kenyans should be prepared. Kenyans should be aware of what's really coming and how they can tackle each and every of that. Yes, they should be way aware of what's coming for them. Yeah, I can see it. I don't know if they can see it. I've been, I really, as I told you, I wanted to go live today, but the kids are so many. You always hear in my some of my videos so many noises in the background. They are coming to play outside. I moved in a very noisy neighborhood, by the way. So apologies for that. But content must be done. Content has to be done by all means, anywhere and anytime. Yes. Maybe just at night because I don't have much light to do content at night. I want to go live every night, by the way. I just want to go live every night, but now problem is enough lighting is a problem, but I'm working on it. I'm working on it. There are a few people who wanted to donate once I go live, so I'm planning on doing it. Listen, once we start, Going live, we'll have a few people come through, and we get some good lights, some good camera, and a few things, just to touch up this place. This is my bedroom, simply my bedroom. I talk from just my bedroom. Just to touch up this place, I bought a door to replace the one at the back, because it has like the old school hinges. Yeah, then this ceiling board, I'm going to replace the lights here. I'm going to replace too. So there's a lot. Yeah. For those who've been following me or following my videos from way back, you've noticed the change. Yes, we came from far, bro. We came from far. Yeah, I've really come from far. I used to be in this like a tiny space, a really tiny space. So I used to put mattresses like this, then just record myself. The voice alone, I wasn't doing like the video. I used to do the voice like the podcast way, yeah. And then I put video clips or reference video clips and pictures, yeah, animate them and then post. Yeah, until I started recording myself now, video. So it's been a while, so it has taken me time, but thank God we've progressed. Moved into a two-bedroom house. This is a two-bedroom apartment, and yeah, we're still progressing. Thank God. My name is Mojos Ke, and thank you for following me. For those who haven't subscribed, kindly do so. Keep subscribing, keep sharing, keep supporting your boy, because yeah.